I'm not the only one who's saying this woman has got to go. She's got to go. She's got to go. The show, thank you very much, has got to go. Because how much of these little cat fights can one really take? Why is this hogging up any kind of federally owned airwaves? We got a new head of the FCC coming in, right? Do we really need to have our airwaves clogged up with this?
You got to go to
because nobody can figure out what's being said here right now.
Listen, take him seriously and take him literally.
I don't think that we have to. I think it would be remiss of us to not say Joe Biden knows how to do this.
Yes,
he knows how to do this. He's quite good at this, and you know, you can't refute anything with him because he just, when I say him, I mean
he rambles.
Trump.
Yeah.
He tends to just.
But can I mention one thing? Because Trump is out there calling.
You know what? She's perfectly entitled to spit whenever she says the president's name. Perfectly entitled. Okay? Like, I'm not saying take away anyone's freedom of speech here. I guess I would just question whether or not this is really valid as a business. What are the profitability margins at The View? I think they're like this. Because I think, unfortunately, the likes of Joy and Whoopi and Sunny, they're hogging up a lot of the profitability in that show. Plus, you get the live studio audience that you have to have clap every time she spits when she says the president's name. I mean, this is looking increasingly like a bad business venture. So if I'm Bob Iger and I own ABC News vis-a-vis Disney, I'm like, you know what, I want done, right? And he's already said that. He wants to spin off ABC News, and that's going to happen. He's going to be looking at Comcast going, whoa, guys, you beat me to it. Well, I'm not the only one saying it's time for this show to go. Piers Morgan out with a big new op-ed in the New York Post saying, guess what? The View is a pointless, irrelevant, Trump-loathing joke. Cancel it. You know, he's right. How can we even call it a show, frankly? It is a joke. It's a joke of it's just terrible. I'm sorry that I even subject you to watching the clips, but you need to know what's out there, do you not? And you know what's great? Nobody cares enough about it to actually vote the way these crazy ladies tell you to vote. Here we go. Quote from Piers. It's precisely that kind of hyperbolic, apoplectic nonsense, along with saying he's the new Hitler, that drove so many undecides to vote for Trump. While the late, great Barbara Walters created The View, or when she did, she wanted it to be a show hosted by women with different opinions. In other words, not everybody saying the exact same thing all the time, which is what it's become. He goes on to write, they all despise the man who is to be their president again, and that tediously myopic, one-sided act just won't play now that he's been given such a resounding endorsement from the American people. I don't like cancel culture, but given that the hosts of The View have, by their own admission, worked so hard to cancel Donald Trump, it's time they were canceled, dun-dun-dun, themselves. In other words, the business doesn't make sense. The show doesn't make sense. I mean, right now, they know that. The producers know that, which is why there's this giant casting call. Can they get any conservative to come on the show? I'll tell you, no conservative should go on that show. Let's let them sink on their own, okay? You're going down, and we're not here to help save the payday for Whoopi Goldberg or Joy Behar. No. Absolutely, but you can tell that the producers have had a little bit of massaging along the way because Whoopi suddenly is trying to argue with her co-host that maybe they shouldn't jump all over Trump. No, instead, we'll just wait and see what he does. This is the newest, latest, and greatest argument that they're trying to have on the set there at The View.
I think what we're all saying is we're going to sit and watch. We're going to wait and see because we can't do anything else except.
I'm not going to wait and see. I mean, this guy is told us he's a retribution. He's going to be a dictator.
What are you doing? Like,
there's nothing to be done until you know what you're fighting. It's pissing in the wind doesn't help. You just get a wet face.
But I mean, what I'm saying is I have no false expectations that at 78 he's going to all of a sudden turn into another human being. And I'm not going to I spent weeks telling people that he was apocalyptic. I'm not going to change now because it's still the same man.
Treating every single thing like
I think that's when we lose credibility.
Well, here's the thing. You lose credibility in many different ways. If you don't know what you're talking about and you accuse him of something, then they're going to blow it back. That's why I say we need to wait and see exactly what you're going to do.
Is that what they're telling her? Whoopi, you've totally lost credibility. And maybe it would be better if you just react after the fact instead of trying to anticipate, tell everybody, oh, he's going to be the next Hitler. But they're like, oh, wait a second. He actually was in office for 4 years and he wasn't Hitler. And actually, we saw the best growth in median wages that we had seen as a nation since, taking out the March 2020 situation, you got to go all the way back some 50 years to the likes of JFK to get anything like it. So people are looking at this saying, gee, I remember when gas prices were this and a dozen eggs didn't cost me $8. And I kind of want to go back to that. And these ladies are so clueless. So now Whoopi's reading the handwriting on the wall. The executives are telling her what's what. She's got to wait. She's got to sit tight, or they may just cancel the whole thing altogether, which is really what they should do. I'm in complete agreement with Piers Morgan. But here's an idea, just so we have a little fun, shall we, on the way to the forum. Why not have Elon Musk buy ABC? He's clearly looking for stuff. He's looking for programming. He can get rid of the entire cast. He can get rid of the live studio audience. Heck, he's talking about putting Joe Rogan in. Let's put Joe's show in there instead. And actually have a broadcast network for it to be on. I get it. He's going to have to clean up his language and stuff because there's certain FCC rules. You can't say certain things. Those ladies get away with saying a lot, but, we got to keep the 4-letter words out of things. Maybe that's why MSNBC ultimately would be the better fit. I would say this, though. The advantage with buying a network is that you don't have the same challenges that cable has from the streaming front. In other words, a network can actually put its product out there because it's not reliant on all of those fees from cable operators. So I think it's an attractive idea. Here they are, the ladies on The View, blaming Elon Musk, blaming X, blaming the stupid people that would read anything that they see on X, or perhaps listen to a podcast like this one. Yours truly, a reminder there. I'm reminding you to subscribe, share, like. Here they are the day after the election, blaming X.
Can we not let Fox News off the hook, please?
I don't understand.
And Newsmax and all the fake news that's been going out there. One of the things that we need to do, and it's not to abolish the Department of Education. As a former teacher, believe me, he's talking about doing that. Yes. Kids I brought this up before, I'm going to bring it up again. In Finland, kids in nursery school are learning to discern between fake news and real news. Yeah. They should be teaching that in this country. Yeah. Teach children tolerance, teach them to think critically.
Well, it would help if we could regulate social media, because one of the biggest offenders is D.C. and Congress have not been able to do one thing in regard to the rogue corporations of social media.
It's not going to get any better with Elon Musk now in the administration.
But they just want to regulate everything, right? By the way, if you're going to teach kids about fake news, real news, can we teach kids not to watch The View? Don't ever watch The View? You want to talk fake news. Conspiratorial, insane fake news. The difference is that people actually had the good sense to go and seek news elsewhere. It's what you need to do. It's actually not only why I created the show, but also why I created 76 Research, 76research.com if you want to get the 76 report. If you're interested in getting our model portfolios, you can get the Founders Club, and then you get all the model portfolios, including any new additional ones that come along down the pike. We've had a very good track record that I am so proud of. And listen, it's going to get better and better, because we're now looking at an environment with a great president, great Treasury Secretary, great Commerce Secretary, great head of OMB. You've got Elon and Vivek over at Doge. You got a lot of things working for you as an investor, as an American. So be part of this. I have a new guide out with my colleague over at 76 called Invest in MAGA. Investinmaga.com, totally free. You can go and sign up and get all the information you want. Learn about what's actually going to work in this new uncharted territory. There's a lot of good stuff coming along, a lot on the way.